Welcome to the Workplace Minute, powered by H3HR Advisors and sponsored by WorkHuman. Thanks for joining me for your quick briefing on what's important in the world of work. My name is Steve Boese. Today in the Workplace Minute, we're diving into the newest American Job Quality Study from Gallup, a sweeping look at what makes work in the U.S. truly good, and whether most workers actually have work they would think of as good. The short and somewhat disappointing answer: most workers don't. According to Gallup, just 40% of American workers hold what they define as quality jobs, roles that provide financial stability, safety and respect, opportunities to grow, a voice in workplace decisions, and at least some control over when and how their work gets done. That means 6 in 10 workers are missing at least one of these essential elements, and often several of them. The study goes far beyond just paychecks and employment numbers. It measures the experience of work across 5 dimensions: financial well-being, workplace culture and safety, growth and development, agency and voice, and finally, work structures and autonomy. It's an ambitious attempt to quantify what we intuitively know, that job quality isn't just whether someone has a job, it's about whether that job can help them thrive. Here are a few of the report's key findings. First, nearly 30% of U.S. employees are struggling financially, and another 43% they're doing just okay. And only about a quarter say they're living comfortably. Second, 1 in 4 workers say their organization offers no real path for advancement. Access to mentorship or training is uneven, and most of those opportunities are concentrated in larger organizations or among more highly educated workers. Third, employee voice at work remains limited. More than half of workers say they have little say in key decisions, from pay and benefits to the adoption of new technologies. Next, respect in the workplace is uneven. While most employees say they're treated respectfully, nearly 1 in 4 report discrimination or unfair treatment, rates that soar for certain groups, including non-binary and neurodivergent workers. And finally, employee schedules remain unpredictable. 62% of employees say their work schedules are unstable or constantly changing, and more than half report working longer than they had planned. So while most Americans who want jobs actually have jobs, many don't have what's called good jobs, and that gap has real consequences. So one of the more interesting findings: independent and gig workers actually report slightly higher job quality at 46% than traditional W-2 employees at only 39%. That might be a bit counterintuitive, given that non-traditional workers often lack benefits and stability, but it does highlight how autonomy and control over one's time can outweigh other factors for many workers. Freedom and flexibility matter a lot, even when financial security doesn't always follow. And another striking point: job quality is tightly correlated with overall life satisfaction, happiness, and even health. Workers in quality jobs are more than twice as likely to say that they are happy in their roles and far more likely to report good physical health. The data makes a strong case that better jobs don't just make for better companies, they make for better lives overall. So here are 3 key takeaways from the report for HR and people leaders. First, job quality should now be a strategic metric. Organizations can't afford to look only at headcount, wages, productivity, and turnover. Measuring the quality of work through engagement, psychological safety, pay equity, scheduling stability, and career opportunities provides a fuller picture of organizational health, and HR leaders could consider the adoption of frameworks like Gallup's 5 dimensions to help them guide internal audits and improvements. Second, voice and fairness drive trust. The study makes it clear: when employees feel excluded from decision-making, especially around technology and pay, their satisfaction plummets. As AI and automation reshape work, HR must ensure that workers are part of the conversation and not just part of the output. Building mechanisms for employee feedback and co-design can close those gaps and make people feel like their voices are being heard. And third, predictability and autonomy matter more than ever. Flexible schedules get most of the attention, but predictability is what employees value the most. When people can count on stability and have some say in when and how they work, job satisfaction rises sharply. For HR teams, that means rethinking scheduling, workload balance, and even meeting culture to give people more control over their time. The American Job Quality Study reframes how we should think about the labor market. It's not enough to ask how many jobs were created or how are wages trending. We also have to ask, are these good jobs and are people thriving at work? Because the data show that job quality isn't a luxury, it's a foundation to a healthy, sustainable economy. And for HR and business leaders, that's the challenge and the opportunity ahead, to design work that works, not just for productivity, but for people. That's it for the Workplace Minute today. Thanks so much for listening, and a big thank you to WorkHuman for supporting the Workplace Minute. If this episode made you think about how your organization can make more of your jobs good jobs, please share it with a colleague. I'm Steve Boese, and this has been the Workplace Minute from H3 HR Advisors.